Hi there. I want to talk about judgment and self-worth. Changing my relationship with judgment is maybe the most powerful and important thing that I've done in my life, and one of the things that has changed my life the most for the better. A little bit of a tongue twister there. So this is a topic that is something that I kind of was dealing with and made most of my progress on probably about a year or a year and a half ago. But it's something that's coming up for me now in kind of a new and different way, and I'm kind of working with it more actively in therapy now. And so I wanted to talk about it and share in case it's helpful to others. So where I was before I started dealing with this or engaging with this idea of judgment is I was insecure about myself. There were things about myself that I was worried that other people would judge me for, right? And that is not a very fun place to be. I think that a lot of people have experienced this, where there's something that they're like, oh, I hope other people don't notice this thing about me or call it out or make fun of me for it or bring it to light, right? I don't want to be judged for usually some core thing about who I am or what I like to do or my behavior or something like that, right? And this is a big reason for me why I was really like playing small is how I think about it. Another way to think about it is like wearing a mask, right? Basically doing all of these kind of protective behaviors to not show the real you and not be the real you because you're afraid of getting judged, okay? That's where I was. And for me, it wasn't anything super specific. It wasn't like I'm insecure that I'm not smart, and if people find out that I'm not smart, then they will reject me or be cold to me or make fun of me or something like that. And for a lot of people, they do have kind of a more specific insecurity. I think both situations are fine and are applicable here in this situation. But for me, it was just kind of a vague feeling of like, what if I do something that someone else doesn't agree with or doesn't prefer, and they judge me for it? And this is kind of, I think, at the root of a lot of like people pleasing. I would say I was a people pleaser in a lot of situations where, the needs of others or even just the preferences of others, I would put as a higher priority than my own needs and my own preferences. That's kind of a telltale sign that something, is maybe a little bit out of alignment. And yeah, that you might want to kind of get curious about why does it feel like other people's opinions are more important than like your felt reality of what you want your life to be like, right? The priorities are kind of out of order there. So, back to judgment. What I started getting curious about was what would happen if this person judges me, right? And like, why is that so bad, right? Because people kind of are judgmental. That's just kind of a part of, interacting with people sometimes. And some people get judged and like never really have a problem with it, right? They have like an internal security or strength or just kind of like foundation of confidence where they're not really shaken super easily. And that's where I wanted to get to, right? I was like, oh, how do I become confident, right? That's something that I see a lot of people kind of understand that that's the goal. Like that's where they want to be is confidence. And then they're searching things online, like how to gain confidence, how to become confident. And in my experience, it was never about gaining confidence. It was about shedding insecurity, like shedding the fear of judgment and once I got rid of the fear, then confidence is what was left. So confidence I think of as kind of like the base layer, and then there's all these things on top of it, like insecurity, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, that are kind of not allowing that confidence to like sprout and grow. That's how I think about it. So anyway, we're talking about judgment. We're talking about these top layers: fear of rejection, fear that, something's wrong with me, fear that people are, looking at me and perceiving me and they're going to judge me for who I am, right? Those are the fears. And then we walk around in fear and we have protective behaviors, playing small, not, living a life that we actually enjoy, trying to impress others, worrying about what others think about us. Those are protective behaviors, right? Protecting us from feeling the pain of being judged. So, this is kind of how I went about it when I was thinking about this. What I realized was I wasn't so much afraid that others would judge me. I was afraid that when others judged me, that they would be right about me, and that if they were right about me, that there actually was something that was wrong with me, or there actually was something that was broken about me, or something like that, that I would stop loving myself. I would abandon myself, right? It's all about the internal experience. And so when all this external stuff is happening, people judging me, what I've learned is to kind of go inside and wonder what is happening, what's actually happening internally. And so what I found is that I kind of had this story in my head that I only deserve love and warmth and being cared for and being valued. Those are the things I wanted, but I had a story that I only deserved those things if I was like good, right? Or if I was kind of being a good person, if I was not ruffling any feathers, not rocking the boat, right? If I was making others happy and others, comfortable, then I, deserved to be accepted. And that's kind of what you learn, I guess, as a kid. And I won't say what you learned because I don't know your experience as the viewer, but that's what I learned as a kid, was like, other people show me love and acceptance when I'm people pleasing, basically. And so I learned that I only should give myself love and warmth when I'm people pleasing. That is the key thing. And of course, once I saw that, once I understood that that's the story I was believing, it was clear to me that like that's not true. Like that's basically bullshit, right? I was like, oh, obviously I deserve love and warmth all the time. Like I'm a person, I have dignity, life is a miracle, consciousness is a miracle. Like, why would I withhold love from myself just like because of something that's happening externally? Like it didn't make any sense. And I was like, okay, so obviously what I want to believe is I deserve love and warmth regardless, unconditionally. Even if someone else doesn't like me, even if they're right about me, right? If someone says, oh, that Ethan, he talks too much. Oh, he's too loud. I don't like his energy. He always, brings up topics that are too deep, and then I feel uncomfortable when he brings up, these existential topics that he likes talking about, but I don't like talking. Like, that's the kind of stuff I was worried people were saying about me. But I was worried about that because, again, I was worried that, like, I don't deserve love if those things are true. That was the story I had. And so as soon as I understood that, I made a decision. I decided I'm going to treat myself like someone who deserves to be loved and to be treated with warmth, to be treated with kindness, and to be accepted for who I am. Like, I deserve that. I gave myself that gift. And I just want to like say, like, everyone deserves that. So there's nothing I did to earn this. There's nothing I did to deserve this. This is honestly just like me making a decision that I want to be treated this way by myself. And that's all I can control. I was gonna say and by others, but like I can't control that. So my commitment that I made to myself was I'm gonna treat myself with love and warmth and kindness, regardless of what anybody thinks about me. And here's the other part of that. I'm not gonna judge others. I'm gonna completely stop judging others. I'm just going to accept others as they are, right? So if something doesn't align with my preferences, I now have cultivated the mindset of, well, this person and I might not be a great fit for each other, right? We might not have, I might not necessarily even enjoy being in their presence, but there's nothing wrong with them. Does that make sense? Like, if someone's doing something that I don't prefer, they are well within their rights to do that thing, especially if it's not harmful, right? If someone's, playing music too loud on public transportation and I'm annoyed with it, like, I could judge that person. I could be mean to them. I could be rude. I think that's kind of like the general, like, baseline behavior or mindset that we as a society kind of take towards people who are annoying. Another one was like when I was driving and someone was driving poorly or would cut me off or, would do something that kind of scared me. It's so easy to fall into judgment and being like, oh, this is a bad person, right? Just the idea of like a good or a bad person. This is a bad person. What they're doing is not okay. I'm gonna get frustrated. I'm gonna get mad. And what I realized is none of that was serving me. And also, when I was judging others, my internal parts were like, oh shit, Ethan's a judgmental person. And if we do something wrong, he's gonna judge us, right? And so the way that I kind of was cultivating a solution to this problem of worrying what other people think about me was, how can I just accept others and accept myself unconditionally? I don't have to necessarily like it, what other people are doing. I don't have to necessarily agree with it or endorse it, but I can accept it. And acceptance is just kind of saying, hey, this is how it is and it's fine. Like, this is, ultimately probably out of my control what this person is doing or, what I did in the past. And, there's some times where you can kind of take action. I don't know, it feels a little bit like kind of a passive way of living. And I think that there's other things that I do to like balance that out. But acceptance is very, very key for dealing with judgment, at least in my experience. So those are kind of the two things. I think those were two things. Deciding I wasn't going to judge others and deciding that I am going to offer myself love and warmth and kindness unconditionally. If you're wondering how to do that step, the way I do it is I kind of think about, I imagine if someone was a very loving, very kind, very warm figure. It could be a family member or someone you're in a relationship with or a close friend or, like a grandma or something like that, a mentor you have, like someone who just is extremely accepting and compassionate of who you are. And just imagine, like, how would that person treat you in this situation, right? So if I make a mistake, how would that person treat me? And then I just say that to myself in my head or sometimes out loud. And that's what it looks like to treat myself with love and kindness and warmth, is to treat myself like a loving, warm, and kind person would treat me. And that has gone really well. And so as soon as I kind of adopted that mindset and that commitment to treating myself in that way and treating others in that way, it felt like I developed like an armor around me when it came to how I deal with what other people think about me. So now other people do judge me, like they'll maybe give me a snide look or something, or even make a judgmental comment or say something that shows that they don't approve of me or a certain aspect or a certain behavior that I had or whatever. And now it just doesn't shake me at all. Like, I just don't care, because I see it for what it is, which is, this is just this person's preference. And I care much more about living in alignment and being my full self than I do about appeasing this random person, or even, this family member or friend or whoever it is. Like, it's not my job to appease or please other people or make them feel better. It's my job to make sure that I'm feeling internally loved and that warmth and kindness. That's my job. And that is now my top priority, right? So I'm not putting anyone down. Again, remember, I'm treating people with love and kindness and acceptance as much as I possibly can externally, and I'm doing that to myself internally. So I feel like I'm a little bit going in circles now, but that for me is what is how I was able to kind of deal with this question of judgment, and how to not feel like I'm being judged all the time by other people. Like, it just doesn't register anymore if someone is judging me, because the meaning behind what does it mean if this is actually true about me has completely changed, right? The meaning used to be, I can't be loved if this thing is true. If this other person doesn't like me, I have no access to love and warmth. And that would suck, right? And that's why it was so scary. And that's why I would avoid it at all costs and people please and do all these protective behaviors, right? But now the meaning is so different. If someone judges me or rejects me, the meaning is, oh, well, nothing really changes, because I still have the exact same amount of access to love and warmth and kindness internally than I did before they rejected me, because I'm not looking for that out of this person. I already have it. I've given that gift to myself because I decided I'm someone who deserves to be treated this way. And once again, I did not earn that. That is just a decision I made one day, and I continue to make that decision every day. And that's something that you can do too. So I'll leave it there, but it's a subject I'm passionate about. If you have questions or comments, please leave a comment. And I'm just really enjoying making these videos and sharing some of my experiences. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.